Hello everybody, welcome back to Screen Stars and welcome to another PlayStation 4 review, and today's review is for the Warhammer game Space Hulk Tactics. Now this is a game that I picked up recently in the PlayStation Store sale. I think the sale's still on, so you can pick it up, and it's a double pack. You get this game, Space Hulk Tactics, and you get Space Hulk Deathwing, the first person shooter version. Now I have recently revisited the Warhammer games. I've always had an interest in the Warhammer games, especially the 40k universe. I've played Space Hulk games for a long time on previous consoles, PSP, you name it, and I've always enjoyed like the setting, the atmosphere, the lore, and the whole way this world is presented to you. It's always interested me. I've always thought it was pretty cool, especially these wonderful hulking space marines that stomp around these spaceships shooting these alien creatures. I've always really enjoyed it, and I have really been enjoying revisiting my Warhammer games. Recently played and reviewed two of them, Warhammer Vermintide 2 and Warhammer Inquisitor Martyr. Really enjoyed those two games, so I was happy to pick up these next two in the sale. Now, Space Hulk Tactics is a strategy game, quite an in-depth strategy game, and it's more along the Space Hulk games that I have played previously. So it's a game that I've been quite familiar with, this type of game, and I do like strategy games in general. And this game focuses on the Blood Angels, these hulking space marines that find a Space Hulk drifting in space, go on this Space Hulk, and have got to basically clear it from the Gene Stealer's infestation, is the basic story. It's not much in regards to a story here, and most of the Warhammer games storylines are fairly similar, really. So basically consists of you walking around levels, one at a time, controlling each marine individually, and then trying to clear the map of objectives. And that could be kill all the Gene Stealers, it could be get 3 marines out on one piece. There's different goals for each level, really. Most of them are fairly similar, but the twist here with this game is there's a campaign mode, and you can play through the whole game as the Blood Angels, the Space Marines, or you can play them as the Gene Stealers. From my understanding, that's the first time that has been available in a Space Hulk game. Now, I've played through the majority of it as the Blood Angels, and I've tried the Gene Stealers as well, just to see what that was like. And essentially they kind of run parallel, and I have heard people say that you should like play one level as the Space Hulk and then play that level again as a Gene Stealer, so you see it in like reverse roles. And I guess that I didn't do it like that. I just played through as Blood Angels and then I did it as a Gene Stealers. But I could see how that would work if you did one level as a Blood Angel and then did the same level as a Gene Stealer. It would certainly make more sense. Now, as the Space Marines, you've got a limited action points, as they call them in games like this. So you can walk a few spaces. You can go into Overwatch. There's a card system in place, so you can convert cards. So you can either convert cards to give yourself more action points, or you can convert cards and give them to another Marine or yourself, and they consist of things like your next turn, this Marine will have +3 in melee defense, or this Marine you can give them extra action points, or this Marine they'll have +2 in regards to aim. Different advantages with these cards. To be perfectly honest, most of the time you'll find yourself converting these cards just to give yourself a couple more action points, because the main drawback to this, especially the Space Marines, is you've got so few action points here. You find yourself it's such a slow game, because they stomp around really slow. Nothing is done fast, certainly from the Marines' perspective. You never feel like you're doing anything with any of these Marines, and it can get a little bit frustrating. I think the pace of this game, I mean, tactical games are quite slow paced anyway, but this just adds to it. It is, I think, for some, and even myself, and I've got a patient gamer, I do find the pace of this game quite frustrating because it's just so slow and Nathanaring. You're just stomping about the place at a really slow pace, and half the time you'll find Gene Stealer and you've run out of action points, or you've got to really try and think tactically constantly in this game, which is a good thing, but I don't think the action points work in your favour quite a lot. And it's like it's got one of these dice systems as well in the game, so that it might take you 7 shots to kill a Gene Stealer, or it might take you 1 shot to kill a Gene Stealer. It doesn't always seem fair. Now the Gene Stealers, they've got more action points, they're more nimble and things like that, and it only takes usually 1 hit from them and you're dead. So there are pros and cons to both sides of the campaign. Now one thing I do like about this game is it's got these great cutscenes in between, these great cinematics. When a Gene Stealer arrives, you'll see it crawl out of a wall. You can, when you kill a Gene Stealer, sometimes it'll do a cutscene. Well, it'll show you in a cutscene you killing them. It's really cool. It's a bit XCOM-like. And there's also, it feels a bit tacked on, but it's nice to have it as like a first-person mode in the where you can look through the Marines in a first-person perspective. And sometimes it helps because it gives you a better view, and it's a good way to look at when you're killing a Gene Stealer. It looks a bit more cinematic and immersive. So that's a nice option to add. But other than that, it's not really for any other reason really than to add to the immersion, I would suspect. The enemy variety I found to be it's poor. Essentially it's just Gene Stealers, so you go in these samey looking levels, grimy looking corridors and things like that, and essentially you're taking out Gene Stealers all the time. Sometimes different variations of Gene Stealers, but essentially just Gene Stealers. So you get your campaign. There's a skirmish mode. You can do a quick match, and there's a mission editor where essentially you can create your own maps, or there's an option as well where you can play other people's maps as well. It's quite easy to do as well, make your own maps. They're not that difficult to do. So there's quite a few options in regards to how you want to play this game, and that's always nice. But the meat and two veg of this game is the campaign mode. You unlock new things to be able to increase the card options for your characters, to make the weapons more powerful, give them new weapons, and modules and things like that. All these things that you can give the characters to make them stronger next time they go into battle. It doesn't always make an awful lot of difference, because like I say, 1 hit and you're dead pretty much. You can customise your team as well in the skirmish mode. You can make them look however you want, colour them differently, different ways you want to make them look, and how the armour looks and all that kind of stuff. So that's quite nice. The customisation options in the skirmish mode is pretty nice. But again, for me, the campaign mode is really the essential part of this game. And I'll be honest, initially when I first started playing the game, the first 2, 3, 4 or 5 hours of the game, I was really quite enjoying it, and then I got to a point where I just kind of felt like I'm repeating myself here. It got to the point where it just felt really repetitive to me, this game, and you were doing the same things over and over, and then even when you try the Gene Stealer from their approach, it's the same maps again. And you're kind of doing the same things, just with a different character, a Gene Stealer. There's not an awful lot of difference between the two, really, other than the Gene Stealers have got more action points. So I've got to be honest, I'm a tad disappointed with this game. I think it looks great, it's got great immersion, and it's a good attempt. It's strategy heavy, really tactical tactics, heavy in its tactics and strategy. And if you're a fan of the Warhammer universe, especially the 40k, you probably get some out of this. I might say it's pretty dirt cheap nowadays on sale, so it might be worth checking out. I'm a fan of strategy games. I find it just a little bit too slow and repetitive. So I'm going to give it a little bit of a disappointing score of 6 out of 10. So that is my review for Space Hulk Tactics. I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed it. And of course I will be back with more reviews on Screen Stars very, very soon.